I thought I'd start this week's vlog a little earlier in the week this time because I had something super exciting come in the mail. This. I'm sure if you've been around for a while, you know that I'm pretty obsessed with galaxies. I mean, my entire channel aesthetic and everything is basically based around galaxies. So when I saw these all over print galaxy hoodies, I kind of freaked out and immediately ordered one. So yes, it is one of the all over print Into the AM hoodies. It is amazing and galaxy-y and cozy and just awesome. What's even more awesome is I actually got myself a discount code, so if you want 10% off of anything on their website, whether it's a galaxy hoodie, a t-shirt, whatever, you can use the code STUDIOOFMM10 and get yourself 10% off. Also, by using that discount code, I get a bit of a kickback, so if you're interested in also supporting this channel, that's also a great way to do it. Get yourself an awesome shirt or hoodie or sweatpants or whatever, and also help me and this YouTube channel. So yes, I'm sure you're going to see me in this hoodie way too often, and also I'm sure I'm going to end up with an entire wardrobe of galaxy hoodies because let's be real, I'm way too obsessed with galaxies. This one, if you're interested, is the Stardust print. I picked this one personally because it reminded me of the galaxies I normally paint. It's very my color scheme, but there are awesome, awesome designs on the website, so definitely check that out. The link to Into the AM clothing will be in the description box, with the code written out too if you're interested in using that as well. Hello again. It's been a while since I last vlogged. It was Easter weekend, of course, so I kind of just took the entire weekend and just chilled out. Yesterday I just hung out with some family, we had dinner. My mom and I made this sunflower peep cake that I decorated. So it was just a white golden cake with chocolate icing, and then chocolate chips on top, and then peeps around the side, and we also made these mini Easter-themed cheesecakes. And they were both really awesome and also gluten-free, so that's great too for me, because gluten and me are not a thing that go together anymore. So today I'm just still kind of chilling out and recuperating from yesterday. But I actually have quite a few paints that I thought I'd show you guys. My mom has asked me if I could do some pour paintings from the living room downstairs. We're kind of redecorating and she wasn't sure what she wanted to go on the wall for art, and she really likes pour paintings, so I have been commissioned to do some large pour paintings. So of course, because of that, I had to go get a whole bunch of paint, because pour paintings are not difficult, but they do require a decent amount of paint, which thankfully you can use the really cheap stuff, but of course you do go through quite a bit of it. So I just stocked up on a bunch of different craft paints. So first off, these aren't necessarily specifically for the pour paintings I'm going to do for the living room, but I just got a giant black and white of the generic Michaels brand, like the Craft Smart brand that you can find at Michaels, acrylic craft paint. Because I go through these a lot when you're pour painting, these are kind of the two colors you use the most, and so other than that's just, you know, white and black, you tend to use the most anyway, so I figured picking up 2 giant bottles of those was not going to be a mistake. So they're the first thing. Then this kind of doesn't go with the rest, but this is just some outdoor paint in Blue Bahama, because we have these metal cranes and they don't, like, they're the same type of sculpture, but they don't actually match in color, and so I'm going to make one of them match the other one a little better. So that is what that is for. They're for like they're garden decorations, so that's why the outdoor paint. And then the rest of these are for the living room. It's like a pretty neutral color scheme, but there's lots of metals. So first we have antique white. This one's outdoor too, but that's only because I couldn't find a normal version at the Michaels we went to, like a normal standard matte craft paint. They only had the outdoor paint, but that was the right color, so that is why that one is a little different. Then we have dark taupe in the standard matte Craft Smart paint. This stuff is like $1.30, I think, a bottle. So like I said, it's really not expensive. So if I go through this whole bottle doing these paintings, it's not a big deal. And then I have espresso. I obviously have a bunch of craft paints already. These were just some colors that I figured I was going to need more of, or I was going to go through a bunch of, so I was going to stock up. And then for the metallics, these ones are a bit more expensive because they're the premium line of the Craft Smart range. So we got champagne gold, which is kind of like an antique-y gold color. The premium ones are nice because they already have the swatches on the top, so I don't have to do them later, because that's what I do, is I just put a swatch on the top of the cap so I can see. I'm sure in the videos, or like this video, you will see my craft paint storage. But yes, that one's champagne gold. Then we have vintage gold, which is kind of more copper brass type color. And then this one is deep bronze. Again, this one's a little more of a brown metallic. And then tin, which is just kind of a gunmetal color. Because although things in the room are metallic, they aren't super chrome shiny metallic. They're kind of antique and dulled out. So that's those. Also for paraphernalia type supply stuff, dollar store is great for that. Just some bigger plastic cups. I already have some smaller ones, but these are going to be pretty big paintings, so the bigger plastic cups and a plastic drop sheet just to protect the surface. I have the canvases too. I'll show you. Canvases are down here in this Desserts box. They're 20 by 20 gallery style, so they're 1.5 inches, I think, deep. Yeah, they're 20 by 20 inches, and right now they're just living in this box. Because I'm not doing the pour paintings right away, I might start them this week, but first I need to fix my, I'm gonna put you back here so it doesn't shake so much. First I need to fix my shoulder pads for my Sabine costume because I need updated photos of that, but I need to fix the shoulder pads first. Or I want to fix the shoulder pads first. So that's kind of what I'm going to be focusing on more this week. And then it's not a very big job. It's just I'm going to be using that desk, and so I can't really have both things going on at the same time. So as soon as the shoulder pads are kind of off that desk, then I'm probably going to start pour painting. So that might be this week, that might be next week. I'm like looking ahead for my dates because in May I'm going to be going away for a couple of days, so I need to make sure everything is kind of done ahead of time for then. So one of these weeks I'm going to need to kind of do 2 videos instead of the one, just because that week of May I'm probably not going to get much done. But this week I think I'm going to try some drip painting, not the pour type style. It probably won't make that much sense until I do it. But it's something I've wanted to try out for a long time now, and I have the materials to kind of do it now, so I was going to try that. But I also want to do, I actually started a few weeks ago filming my most used art supplies video, and in that week I filmed like 3 videos, and that one never got finished, and then I got sick, so that's never been finished. So that's going to be a super close upcoming video, but I'm not sure if that's going to be this week or next week. So it's kind of between the 2 things. So I'm just figuring out, I might film them both this week and then give myself a bit of time to maybe work on some larger art for a video or something, because sometimes the week turnarounds for artwork isn't always the greatest. Sometimes the art's going to take a bit more than like the 5 days or whatever that I might give myself to work on something. So some weeks I end up filming a couple just so I have an extra amount of time to be able to work on a larger painting or something. So that might be one of those things coming up. I think that's it for now. I might sketch out the drip painting thing. I need to figure out what I'm going to do it on because there's going to be quite a lot of paint. So I'm not sure if I really want to try and do it on paper or if I want to use a canvas board. So I'm going to go over to my stash of surfaces and see what works best. So if you've seen my art studio tour, you will have seen the shelf of surfaces basically and supplies, but it's mainly like papers and canvases and stuff. So I have this canvas paper, which I've never used, which could be a valid option for the drip painting. But I think I'm going to try one of these big canvases because obviously, as the name suggests, it's drip painting and it's not the easiest to get detail on it. So I think we're going to start big just so I know that I can get a bit more detail in the drawing. There, grab my canvas. I measured it and it's actually a 16 by 20 canvas board if any of you are interested. And I think I'm going to start actually sketching this out. Though one thing I wanted to mention is these. I don't know if I have actually ever mentioned these in a video, and they're constantly on lists of like mention these or like put them in videos of what you use and whatever, and I'm sure they will make it into my most used art supplies video. But these are called light pad pucks. They're by Artograph, and they are normally meant to raise a light box, like for tracing and transferring drawings or whatever. Like you see there's 4 of them, you can stack 2 and 2, or have them all separately. But these I use all of the time to prop up artwork. So you know how an easel would... Here, let's get this out of the way and set these up. So these are like basically a super portable easel because they're made out of rubber, so they don't slip on anything, and as you can see, this canvas is now on an angle, so I have a better perspective when drawing. And I use these things all of the time, and like I said, I'm not sure if I've ever mentioned them in a video. But yes, I think I'm gonna go straight into sketching this giant painting out. I also put a pencil extender on my current sketching pencil because it's getting a little short. So I'm all set up to film. We've got the drop cloth down with the painting there. The tripod's moved over to this desk, minus the camera right now. I will have that studio light on too, but right now that one's just on. And then we have the supplies that I'll be using for the painting. So pouring medium, paint easy, black acrylic paint, some palette knives to mix, and the mixing cup. So I'm going to go ahead and start painting. And here we have the final paintings. I know that originally I only had this one, but I actually had so much of the paint that I mixed up that I quickly sketched up this one and did that one as well, although I still have a ridiculous amount of the paint that I mixed up still in this cup, which I'm not sure if it will actually stay liquidy, but we'll see. So I have lots mixed up if I ever want to do more of the drip paintings. Which, if you're interested, it is a mixture of Paint Easy, black acrylic paint. It was basically going to be half black with then, so like 50% black paint with 25% pouring medium and 25% Paint Easy, but the Paint Easy actually made it a little too liquidy, so I also added some clear glue just so it was a little more stringy and jelly and not so watery, I guess. So yes. But I also wanted to pop on the end here to let you know that these two are actually for sale, the originals. So if you're interested, I'll make sure that the top link in the description box is the link to these originals if you're interested, if they're still available when you're watching this. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for this week's Behind the Studio. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.